Hello guys, hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Vinod. Today we're going to talk about company Nordic American Tanker, ticker NAT. I'll try to cover three key topics today. One is the stock performance for the last 6 months to 1 year, as well as company's annual as well as quarterly results, which kind of gives us the indication of what the company or the stock can do next. Secondly, I would also share my trades with you guys and share what's my view based on my analysis if I'm holding or buying more or selling some. As well as also we'll look at market sentiment, which also drives the stock to the next targets. Okay, I have some screens loaded for you guys. I'll quickly share them. First of all, again, thank you for the guys who have subscribed to my channel. It gives me a lot of confidence to make these videos as well as share my trades with you guys, to share my trades and information on some of the analysis I do. And again, if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe so that you get notifications whenever I make a new trade, as well as I change my positions, or if I book some profits, so you're made aware. I've made some more videos, so have a go and look at all the other videos if you're interested in any of the stocks or if you may hold a position there. Thank you. With regards to NAT, I think if you're not aware of their core business, so whenever the big oil companies produce more oil than demand, they need to store oil somewhere. So that's where the NAT company comes into play. They do have quite a big fleet of vessels where they can store that oil temporarily. When the demand picks up, they can give it back to the oil company. So, and for the tenure which they keep the oil in their vessels, they generate revenue out of it, which turns into profit, and that's how the stock of varies based on their quarterly earnings. So that's their core business. Let's look at the 6 months chart for this stock. And again, earlier this year, it was trading around $5 and it went down to $2 during mid-pandemic. And again, most of the stock took 50% hit. I think it was in line for this downtrend. Then thereon, there were two upper moves, one from $2 to $5, and then the second one was from $3.5 to $9. The $2 to $5, the main reasons why the stock went up, it's because of the the Russia and Saudi Arabia agreed that they would reduce the generation of oil during the pandemic. Reason being, nobody was traveling to work and there are no cars on the road, which means the demand for oil was less. So that way, whatever they had produced till date had more value, because then that means whoever is storing it, they can use that when they are not producing. So that means that's how the demand was there. And that's when it came to limelight in that particular time, when the oil prices went down to negative, and then they wanted to store that oil which they already generated, which means the value was more for that oil which was produced already. So that was the first move where a lot of people thought that this company has a lot of legs, so it went up to almost $5. And then there was profit taking because it ran up in 10 sessions for like 100%. So people would have taken profit. The second run, primarily to do with the second wave of demand for saving oil into these tankers, as well as fear of missing out from retail investments. What I mean by fear of missing out is, for more you would have heard of this terminology. It is when when you know that I think there's going to be more demand for this tanker, which means the cost which they're going to charge to retain the oil would be higher. That means their company is going to profit from that particular activity. So that way, I think the stock quickly, I think around 15 to 18 trading sessions, it would hit at a high of 9, which is like a 3.5x return in this stock. I was kind of observing this stock during this time. I didn't just jump on the bandwagon and invest in this stock. I was just observing in terms of it's not only short term, but also you need to look at a longer term. Since then, I think the stock came down significantly. Probably it has lost 50% from the 9 levels. But if you look at a year on return, it's flat for this stock. So one of the reason, I think the supply and demand issue for oil is been managed well. Secondly, and again, there's nothing much happening around oil price movement. So two things, the stock is down. I think it had a big run on Friday, around 8%. This is the first big run for like probably a month now. So I'll cover in a minute what caused that particular price in the stock price. Let's quickly jump into what the company is doing. And company is currently trading around 647 million as a market cap. Out of all my investments in different companies, this is the one of the lowest market cap companies I've invested. And again, I would tell you why I got into in first place. There are two reasons I'll cover in a minute when I show my portfolio. So Q1 was a beat, and again, this is primarily to, as I said, like there was more demand for this company to store oil, and they generated more revenue. I think the Q2 consensus for this year is quite high compared to Q1. I think you can expect with any other company, the Q2 estimates are quite lower than Q1 or Q4 last year. But with this company, because the demand was more to store oil, the analysts are expecting a higher revenue, and I think they should be able to beat this. And I will tell you in a minute, when they are expecting to announce their quarterly results in a minute. So as you guys can see that I think the previous quarter was a miss. I think the last two quarters, considering the demand was high, it should go higher. Secondly, you can see that on 9 days ago, the CEO and the chairman bought more shares. But I think you can look at the numbers. It's not huge, right? It's 50,000 shares at $4 per share. I think it's like $200,000 from a CEO or a chairman. It's not a massive, like it's not millions of investment, but it is a positive sign when somebody who's leading the company buying into their own share, they think that it's going to perform better. But the other indicators, if you look at short term, medium term, long term, I think there are not anything significantly which gonna make the stock move higher, unless if there is a supply demand issue again with oil, which means if somehow we translate into more demand for storing oil, then this would be beneficial. It's gonna be a momentum play, I would say, rather than there's nothing specific to this stock. The reason I got into this stock, I'll show you my shares now. So I manage a portfolio around 500,000 pounds or $700,000. I have like 4 different accounts which I manage. This is one of them. So you can see that I hold 496 stocks. I think first I bought it in the month of May. I think I made 2 or 3 trades from May to June. Not the June one, I'll cover that. So 2 trades before in May. So I've accumulated around 500 shares. Cost basis or overall cost, which is around 2,000 pounds or $2,500. 2 things why I invested. I think one of this, I think it's good to cover now. You can see this line item. This says bought 13 shares at 52. What this exactly mean is I think NAT pays an amazing dividend. Okay, so I think this is just for 1 quarter. I think I don't expect every quarter for them to give a 50 pound. This is 50 pounds based on the amount of shares I hold. I'll quickly show what was the dividend per share, which multiplied by 500 shares is 50 pounds. So I think they're a very good dividend provider. You can go back to last 10 years and they always provided dividends. And I was surprised to know this because I didn't know when I invested they were a good dividend provider also. They are, so that's one. So I got like 50 quid. On an investment of 2,000 pounds, 50 quid is what, like 2.5%, which is still good, right? That's 1 quarter. And if they can, let's say, produce the same level of results every quarter, you're expecting almost like 200 pounds worth of dividends, which is almost 10% of your investment cost every year. And if you tell anybody, like I think you can get a 10% return just by dividends, and then the stock has a potential to go up another 10%, 20% return in a company, which is decent. So currently I'm holding this stock. 1, because it's dividend. 2, looking at the charts, I think there is a potential for it to try the previous high around 550 and then move back to 7 levels. I think this is just then based on how the current volume on the stock, as well as on and off you can hear news about the supply demand issue again with the stock. So okay, what else I can cover? I think there's nothing much in terms of market sentiment on NAT, because it's not the bigger sector where retail investors or even institutional investors are invested in. So that's why it's not well spoken or brought up topic in CNBC or any other market channels. The last which came around was in 24th April. As you can see, it was in Mad Money. Jim Cramer had an interview with the CEO. I think this was one of the favorite clips. I'll just play here for you guys.
I'm sitting in front of two big tankers, Nordic American and the American flag on the top of these two tankers. I'm 1 hour outside Oslo, Norway.
Well, there you go. You're colorful. If not just that, I need to ask you right now, sir. HH. Focus.
What's that?
Can I rent a tanker for a week from the biggest fleet in the world, from your fleet? I'd like a week. Can I have it?
You can have it, but it will be very costly. I doubt if you can afford it,
So there you go. I think that was the latest take. This was the only thing, which was, I think I kind of bought into it after I think there's the bull thesis from Jim also on this company, that there's going to be more demand to store oil. And that's the reason I got into this stock primarily. And again, it's a momentary play. If you are asking me for a suggestion, like are you recommending us to go into this stock? My gut feel is for you guys to say is no, don't invest on it. I am in it. And again, I am kind of may change my trade any day with this company. But again, if you're a new investor, you're looking for some opportunities. Let's say if you want to invest $100 or £100 or from $5,000 or 5,000 pounds, don't invest into NAT. I think that would be my personal suggestion for you guys. The reason being, I think it's just a pure momentary play, and also it depends on oil supply demand issue. So there's nothing else to play in this particular company. I think then if you're asking me what I'm going to do, as I said, like if the stock runs probably to 7 levels in say in 3 to 6 months, and probably there's one more dividend, I may cash in and sell this stock. I think that would be my personal opinion, what I'm going to do with my stock. And if you want to invest in, as I said, $1,000 or $5,000 a pounds, there are a lot of other good stocks to invest in. As I said, go to my YouTube channel. I've made a lot of videos around there. Let's say yesterday I made a video on Space or Virgin Galactic. It is a gooder company to invest because of the future potentials versus something, just trading based on momentum on an oil price and so on. And again, I do hold other shares which I will make videos on. So please do subscribe so that you get notification on that. Okay. So one last point. I think if you are already invested in it, I think, and if you are sitting on a profit, also look at the dividends what NAT provides. I think, as I said, I think you can see this was the dividend which I just showed you guys. It was 14 cents per share. So I had around 496 shares, that's how it translates into 50 pounds. And you can see that the next one is expected to be around $20, 20 cents per share, which I would see around 60 pounds. So that's like 110 pounds in 4 months of investment of 2,000 pounds. So that's almost 5% return. And as I said, if I see a stock rise up to another 10-15%, I may cash in because I don't see a longer term potential with this. There are so many other good stocks which we can invest. And I think I got into it because I just wanted to get into it because of the momentary play. But I think I'm not going to lose money on it. It's just currently parked. And as I look at other stocks to invest, I may consider it. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. So what I would say is, I think if you can like and subscribe for my channel, then it gives me more confidence to make other videos. For the guys who have suggested I should buy a good mic so that you can hear me better, I've ordered one. So thank you for all your suggestion, and hope you're safe and well.